Man, if you're really excited about this new change, then you should send a big fat fruit basket to the developers of Tekken Bot, because I'm pretty sure the reason Namco finally caved and decided to make it a feature in the game is the fact that we were already sort of doing it ourselves using third party software, and developers tend not to be super excited about that kind of thing. And it's one of the perils, I guess, of putting your game on PC. If you're not making it the way people want it, then they're just going to change it themselves, and they're very devoted. There was that guy who spent like years of his life making a hyper realistic horse vagina mod for Skyrim, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Hello everyone, nice to speak to you. So there's a new feature revealed for Tekken 7 Season 3, and it's an improved version of practice mode. And the really interesting thing about it is that it's going to include numbers, specifically frame data, and that's something that people have been asking for a long time. I've seen some people say that it's like the most significant change to the franchise ever. I'm not quite that excited, but it is really cool. So let's talk a little bit about how it's going to work. If you look at the two bottom images here, where Heihachi is performing a demon breath and then Kazuya is blocking that, you have the simple display and then the detailed display. And the simple display is just the character who has advantage is going to turn blue, and the one with disadvantage is going to turn red, and then that color is going to be deeper depending on how big the advantage or disadvantage is. And they said they put this in the game specifically for like new players. Sounded a little bit condescending. I don't think this is going to be very useful, and even if you are new, definitely try detailed display, because this is where it gets really cool. It's going to show you exact numbers for the advantage or disadvantage you have for both characters. So if you want to know how bad something is on block, just do the move, have the opponent block it, and you're going to get numbers right there. Very useful tool for learning more about the game. And the other really cool thing that sort of surprised me, I would never have expected this, is that there's another number which is the exact range of the moves. Now, frame data is a measurement of speed in this game, and it's the perfect way to measure speed because the game animates at a specific frame rate. And so if you use frames, it's always a perfect measurement of speed. Nothing can be 1.5 frames. So it's the best measurement possible for speed in the game. But for distance, we always use these like vague terms like range 1 and range 2, which is what like the average width of a normal character and stuff, and there's a much more accurate number here. It's going to be like 2.36 and stuff like that. So now you can know exactly how bad Miguel's 1-2 is in terms of range, and it's going to be interesting to sort of compare the range of a move like that has famously bad range to, you know, the average jab range of a 1-2 in the game or something like that. So I think that's really cool. It means that we're going to have to invent a new notation, because this number, this range number, is probably going to be listed along with the frame data of a move in any, you know, frame data compilation or spreadsheet going forward. It's going to be a new number appearing along, you know, frame advantage on hit and so on. So that's really interesting, and I was very surprised by it. It's also going to tell you if, you know, a character is crouching or currently crushing highs or lows and stuff like that. So very, very good, specifically for teaching you how punishment works. And there's a new other feature that is going to allow you to practice specifically block punishment, and you're even going to be able to use that with a replay feature. So you can play a game, you can watch the replay, and you can realize, oh, when I was in this situation right here, I could have actually gotten guaranteed damage if I knew what to do. And the game will even tell you what move you could have used. And so this feature, honestly, is not super exciting for, I think, Tekken veterans who have been playing Tekken 7 for years now, because if you're currently doing really well in this game, then most of the important frame data you've already memorized and you already have a functional understanding. You know, the challenge with block punishment is not knowing the frame data, it's reacting fast enough and then applying the correct thing. You know, the speed and the judgment and the reflex is the challenging part. So I think this is very, very good specifically for new players who are coming to the game, learning frame data for the first time. And block punishment is like a perfect portal for entering the world of frame data, because if you understand the concept of, if a move is minus 10 or more, then you can usually get guaranteed damage that looks like this, then you can sort of extrapolate everything else about frame data from that. So it's a very good feature for new players, and it's, why it's a little bit sad that we're getting it this late, because even though the player base is still growing, it's obviously not growing nearly as much as when the game was new. So I think it's a minor change really for Tekken 7 specifically, but a huge change for the franchise, because the fact that this is in this game means that it's going to be in every future version of Tekken. They're not going to put it in Tekken 7 Season 3 and then not have it in Tekken 8. So starting with Tekken 7 Season 3, Tekken is now a franchise where you get accurate frame data in the game. And that's pretty cool. For me, the really big thing is going to be learning new characters when they come out. And there are going to be 3 new characters that we haven't played yet in this season. Leroy, and then 2 new ones. I'm about 95% sure one of those remaining 2 is going to be Kunimitsu at this point. It just feels like it has to be. But I noticed when Zafina came out, I wanted to go into practice mode and make a video on like how good she seemed to be. And you looked at the moves and you got a sense of it, but it was pretty hard without accurate numbers. And so I had to wait for one of these heroes to compile, the frame data into a document and make that available. But now you're just going to be able to go into practice mode, turn on this feature, and you're going to be able to understand so much about the character right away. And that's really interesting because obviously we haven't memorized the frame data of characters that don't exist yet. And so you're going to be able to like learn a new character so fast if you're a veteran Tekken player that you're going to be able to like go online and kick ass, I think, within a couple of hours. It's really, really cool for that. And again, when Tekken 8 or whatever comes out, you're going to be able to do that right away, which is just so great. But I want to give a big shout out and a lot of love to all of these heroes who have been providing us with the frame data throughout the years. I think this means that you've finally won and that your battle is over, but thank you so very much for your noble service up until this point. I want to offer a small criticism of the block punishment training feature. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I was practicing block punishment with Miguel yesterday when I saw that this feature was going to come out. I went to practice mode and I realized that, okay, so if I'm going to punish 13, I used Claudio's hop kick and then I wanted to punish that with Miguel, the game is probably going to tell me that the optimal thing that I should always use is Miguel's 3-4, which is the highest damage option and a knockdown move. So it's a very good punisher for that, but it starts with a high. I might be in a situation where I really want to use a mid, and the optimal damage I can get then is down forward 1-2. But down forward 1-2 only gives me 1 frame of advantage on hit. The down forward 1-1 starts with a mid, does 5 less damage, but it puts me at +5, and it gives me the option of going into Savage, and getting that mix-up out of Savage might be more powerful than 5 points of damage or even a knockdown. But then again, if I go down to 11 frames and use a 2-1, I can get an even bigger advantage, and the mix-up becomes even more powerful because the Savage up forward 3, which is the preferred mid, becomes completely uninterruptible after 2-1 on hit. So block punishment, what I'm trying to get to, is really quite subtle, and I don't think this, mechanical, feature in the game is going to teach you all the subtleties of it. If you do like a punishment that you prefer for some reason and the game says, no, that's not optimal, that's not great, you should have done this, then I think that misses the point a little bit. But like I said, if you're a new player and you're learning about frame data and block punishment for the first time, this is like an ideal feature for you. And it's a big step forward in this attempt of Namco's and Tekken 7 to make this franchise more accessible for more people without necessarily making it stupid and simple. So, satisfying the veterans and satisfying the new players. So overall, and in conclusion, it's a great feature. I wasn't blown away by it when I saw it because I kind of, I'm the kind of guy where I like to go online and look up frame data and then, write notes, and I keep a little notebook with me when I play the game and stuff. I always kind of enjoyed that aspect of it. But, I mean, of course, it's just much more quality of life to just have it on the screen in the game. But I was thinking about, like, what could the new feature have been? What would have made me more excited? Well, if it was a single player feature like, you know, Tekken Darts or Tekken Force or something like that, that would have excited a lot of people, but not me, because I don't play the single player modes in this game. I'm only interested in the competitive side. And so if it had been a single player feature, that would have been completely uninteresting to me. So I guess this is better. And there isn't really anything else they could have done in terms of features that would really have excited me. But I would have liked there to be more focus on, like I've said in previous videos, specifically sort of balance and the playability of the characters that already exist. I don't think the major problem that Tekken 7 is facing right now is the fact that practice mode isn't very good. It's the fact that Akuma can run up on you and do an unseeable low poke and then start pulsating, and you're watching a 6-minute combo video of him killing you while you're locked out of the game. I think that's much more problematic than the usability of practice mode, and so I would like a lot more of these extreme outliers in the roster to sort of be reined in and pulled towards the middle. That's, you know, my big hope for the future of the balance of this game, but doesn't look like that's going to be happening. But this is pretty cool. 2 more characters and then a new stage, and the fact that the final part of this entire season is going to be a new stage probably means that it's going to be a very special stage. I'm expecting that to be something really quite crazy, because you don't put it up on the screen along like new characters and stuff unless it's an amazing stage. So lots to look forward to in the future of Season 3. But for now, I think this is really cool and interesting, and I'm going to use it when we finally get Leroy and when we learn him together. And that's going to speed up that process, and it's going to be so much easier for the ones of us who make content on this game to give you, you know, accurate insights really quickly, which I think is pretty huge. So cool stuff. I hope you like it. Definitely let me know what you think. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye for now.